Hello and namaskar. Here we are back again with another episode of Career Corner. Like every time, we take up one career at a time and one expert of that domain talk to you for an hour on the nuances, history, evolution, current status, various functions, job market, opportunities, subject detailing, infrastructure required, faculty standards and everything of that particular domain. Today, we are in a very interesting area, biochemistry. Biochemistry, particularly in times of a pandemic, is the focus of attention of global society. Yes, recently I saw a cartoon where a Maulavi, a Pujari and a Padri are standing behind a scientist. And the scientist is working with his computer and microscope trying to find a vaccine against COVID. And the three persons who are supposed to be linked to your God is standing with folded hands behind the scientist. Yes, scientists are working day in and day out across the country, across the world, and India included, because India has a major role in that, to find solution, antidote, vaccine for the pandemic that we are in COVID-19 and similar other challenges of health across the world. Biochemistry also plays, and biochemists play a major role in this entire healthcare system of the country. How does it make a difference? We'll know very soon. We have with us Dr. Professor Srijan Haldar. Srijan Haldar is the head of the Department of Biochemistry in the School of Life Science and Biotechnology, Adamas University, Kolkata, a young, bright, dynamic leader of the field of biochemistry academics in this country. Welcome to the show, Dr.
Thank you,
Srijan
sir.
Haldar.
And thanks for this opportunity.
Yes, thank you for your time, and we look forward to engaging 1 hour conversation on what biochemistry is. Please begin by telling about yourself. How has your journey been? Why did you come into the field of biochemistry? What did you do from class 12, post class 12 onwards till this date? Entire journey, if you could speak in few minutes.
Oh, sure. I have, after my class 12, I have joined Maulana Azad College as a zoologist in BSc Zoology Honours. So, while studying zoology, there I have found a small paper we have to study, and that's called physiology and biochemistry. So, with the time when I am engaged with my study during my BSc, day by day I was more engaged with that specific paper. Okay, we have 8 papers, 800 marks, but somehow I got my interest in that 100 marks in the specific paper. So, then when I got that interest, then I tried to find out what is this thing, why this biochemistry is in this world. So, then I done some research at my student level. There I found this subject was evolved at the beginning of 20th century, when scientists found there is a need of turning from chemistry to biochemistry. So, if I just summarize in a one word or one line what biochemistry is, biochemistry is an amalgam of chemistry and biology. So, if I just amalgam, what does that mean? Biochemistry is the application of chemistry, of where people study different life forms at cellular and molecular level. Obviously, all these things I didn't understand within my student life. This takes time. Throughout my journey, throughout my study, I understood all this. But at that level, I understood this have some connection with direct life. Although I am studying zoology, which is already a core subject of biology, is already considered as a core subject of biology, still I found this subject is much more interesting to me. That's why during my masters, I have taken biochemistry at when from that then I have joined University of Calcutta in the Department of Biochemistry. So, and this time when I have entered in the real world of biochemistry during my MSc, there I have find wow, what I have studied during my BSc That's the biology, a superficial area. Now I am entering into the chemical level of that entire biology. So that's a fascinating for me. So now that attracts me, okay, so I should pursue my career with biochemistry. That's why when I have done my PhD, I have done it in biochemistry, and more majorly I have done it in the field of hematology. So in the Shah Institute of Nuclear Physics, Kolkata, which is a department of Atomic Energy Institute. So at the end of 2015, I have submitted my thesis and got my PhD degree. Then I have joined to understand this biochemistry into a industry at Noida. It's called Integral Bioscience Private Limited. There at the Bioscience department I have joined, and directly I have used my knowledge into the industry where they are going to develop some cancer drugs. So now I got what I have studied during my entire journey, and now I have got an opportunity to apply those things. So this is the perfect blend for me and perfect opportunity for me to working at a research industry after my PhD and use my knowledge there. So after at the end of at the beginning of 2018, I have joined into Adamas University after that research institute. So what after some time I thought that okay, now I have worked in an industry, now it's the time to provide my knowledge to the students, to the younger ones, because there are very few biochemists actually exist in West Bengal as well as in India. This biochemistry subject is quite old, but still very few people are entered into the real world of biochemistry. So that's why I think it's the better for me to enter into the academics and then build a few people, at least as much as possible for me, so that those people in the future converted into a biochemist who can help their world through their knowledge.
Great. So that's the journey that you had in the field of biochemistry. Now there is coming closer to, you have already defined biochemistry actually, even before I was asking you. So there are related areas: biochemistry, biotechnology, you know, microbiology, life sciences in general. So these are all related areas. If you could give the fine line of difference from one to the other, if you could explain that.
Sure. When we are talking about biochemistry, as I already mentioned, this is the way to learn the life through the molecular level or chemical level. So whatever the other subjects, name any subject in the field of biology, each and every subject finally ended up to biochemistry. This is the main mother subject which leads all the other biological subjects. Just let me give an example. If you take the biotechnology, this part of life science or this part of biology actually deals with different technical advancement whatever happened in last, may I say, 50 years or something like that. So whenever they are entered into biotechnology, they are dealing with technology, but where the basis of this technology lies, it lies in the chemistry and that subject dealing with the biology. So obviously biotechnology have to landed up into chemistry after a certain level. Just take an example of microbiology. This is a pretty old subject. So however, when we are going to the classification of microbes, as we all know that microbes are the tiny little organisms which can be measured in micrometer. That's from where the name came from, microbiology. So whenever these microbes are there, these microbes are nothing but a composition or a compact biochemical organism. Even just look around us, whatever we are facing today other than abiotic factors, abiotic means water, heat, air, all other than these abiotic factors, each and every biochemical, each and every organism is nothing but the mystery of biochemistry. we are living inside biochemistry. We can't deny it. So, each and every moment we have to face these biochemical reaction. Whatever we eat, whatever we drink, whatever we breathe, all in each and every step of our life, we are dealing with hundreds and thousands of biochemical reactions. So, when we are talking about biochemistry, this subject can enter into the any field of biochemistry, any field of life science, whatever we are known to. If we take the old school thoughts, zoology, botany, physiology, all these we can be considered as old school subjects. So, all these areas definitely ended into the biochemistry. If we going into the new fields, biotechnology, microbiology, even pharmacy, doctors, medicine, in each and every area biochemistry is there. So, studying biochemistry open up the field, entire field for a student who can enter into the field of life science.
Right. So, that gives an introduction to the world of biochemistry. What is significant to understand, you have presented the differentiation of biochemistry from other related fields, but within biochemistry there are several strands, there
Yes,
are several specializations,
yes.
there are several niche areas,
Of
and
course.
a youngster trying to make a career in biochemistry should know about these specialized areas or domains
Of course.
within biochemistry.
Of course.
So, over to you again back to explain what are the various specialization or niche areas within biochemistry and what differentiation of each with the other is there.
Oh, sure. So, there are several specific domains lies inside the biochemistry. Specific domains, suppose a student, when he is going to study biochemistry, he have to pass through a small area which is called enzymology. Enzymes, a protein, we have to deal with this thing every day and night. So, what is the need of an enzymologist in our world? Just in the current scenario, when every one of us has seen that what is the power of an enzyme. Suppose we have seen in our when we got sick, we have some digestive problem. Any one of ours, we take a small sip of diastase or this kind of enzyme. We do not know what is this in medicine is, but we take it and we cure. This is a very regular kind of medicine we use in our home, but the enzyme present in that medicine is actually going to miracle, that is going to cure the life. Okay. So, that is going to cure us. So, these kinds of hundreds of examples are there. So, the need of enzyme is increasing day by day in our society, in our world.
Right.
If you can check anyone, if you can check in the just search in a Google, you can find it that enzymology industry is increased very rapidly from the beginning of this 21st century to now, and this will keep on increasing for next 100 at least next 50 years. So, when a biochemist passing through this subject enzymology, he have an in-depth knowledge of this, how enzyme works, how it functions, what is its substrate, how it can be modulated, how this can be inhibited. All these knowledge are gathered one by one. So, when it finally he is prepared and he gathered all this knowledge, then he can apply this knowledge into the field of enzymology. And not only this knowledge, in our university we train these students through our practicals, which is followed by a theoretical class. They are going to train each and every step of enzymes, how they can be apply their knowledge directly into an industry. So, all these things make a good enzymologist. For become an enzymologist, you have to go through biochemistry, because this subject can give you the proper backup for whatever knowledge you need, whatever skills you need. So, from enzymology, let me go into another area, cell biology. Cell biology is another major area of biology where people deals with different kinds of cell, our cell, other animal cell, different cells. And in this world we know that all these cells and everything it can be cultured in lab, it can be regenerated, all these are already known to people. So, this world of cell biology, when people enters, they have to know what are the biochemical reactions going behind them. Without knowing them, they can't enter into the cell biology. Even they enter, they don't know what they are doing. To understand them, to manipulate them, to work with them, they have to know biochemistry. So, cell biology is another part of biochemistry, and if anyone check that there is a huge market lies with the stem cell biology. This stem cell biology market started at most 20 years back, and now it is booming. So, if someone think about it, how I can enter and become a cell biologist by using all this stem cell biology, other cell biology, he can understood these biochemistry and going through these processes. Other than cell and biochemistry also deals with immunology.
Stem biology is a distinctive area from cell biology, right? It's a distinctive area.
It's a part of cell biology,
okay,
sir.
okay.
Cell biology is a little bit
So
of
those
broader.
those who take up specialization in cell biology will also be dealing with stem biology.
Of course, you have to deal with stem cell biology, and this stem cell biology market is growing very rapidly,
Right.
because most of us we have heard that during
This
a child,
plasma treatment of COVID
yes.
is an offshoot of which domain?
it's an offshoot of the cell biology and
Right.
hematology domain, and which
Hematology,
is
right.
completely a blend of this biochemistry.
Very nice. Okay, move to the third area.
Yeah. So, when we going to the immunology, which is another part of these biochemistry. Immunology, I don't have to explain at the current pandemic situation what immunology means. Everybody is searched, everybody is known what is the basics of immunology. So, this is nothing but our body mechanism which can fight against any foreign things. It can be a virus, it can be a microbes, it can be any other protein which comes from outside, anything can be. So, how these external molecules interact with us, how they are talking with us in a beneficial way or in a revenge way or in a harmful way. Most of the cases when they are talking with us in a harmful way, then we have to talk back. So, that is the immunological system of this biology through which we can fight with these things. So, if we check how this talking is actually going on, this is nothing but a molecular talk. Molecular talk means this is where these proteins or the virus or these microbes, whatever is coming from outside, it binds somewhere inside us or generates some response inside us. That is nothing but a biochemical response. When our immune system recognizes that okay, this particle or this thing is not a host, means not ours. So, this is a foreign thing, first separate it, now check it what it is going to do. Okay, it is a beneficial thing, then do not going to harm itself. No, this is going to do something else, this will be harmful for us. So, inhibit this thing, demolish this thing from body and remove it. So, that is called the immunological response, and this molecular level response is actually nothing but some biochemical reactions. So, to understand this immunology, you have to land it in biochemistry. To become a good immunologist, you have to know what is the biochemical level of these immunological reactions.
So, these are the three broad areas, right?
So, many more are there.
You
so
can speak one or two of them,
Yeah, sure.
if you could also throw light.
So, along with this immunology, there are another major area what we called recombinant DNA technology. Although we called it technology, this is the application of chemistry through life science. How? Suppose a very good example we can take an enzyme or a hormone which many of us use a regular daily basis, what we call insulin. So, this hormone, most of the diabetic patients are prescribed by the doctors that they have to take insulin at certain dose at certain amount for at regular interval to control their sugar level in the blood. Now, how these insulin is suddenly come from a bottle into our body? how it's encaptured in a bottle, where it comes from. It comes through this power of recombinant DNA technology. People have cloned the gene from where these insulin is actually generated in us, in other animals, wherever it is. It's generated. From there, it's cloned, then through their recombinant process where they can put it in another organism where they can generate in a mass scale and then collect it from there and put it back to us. But obviously, there are certain stage and certain precautions where they have to check whether it also when these insulins entered in us, it's don't get harmful to us or something like that. Obviously, all these biochemical reactions need to be checked, but definitely this can be used, and this is already using these kinds of things. Other than that, another field of biochemistry is clinical diagnostics. Clinical biochemistry. Clinical biochemistry is a major area where these biochemistry people can step in, and in any sector of clinical biochemistry, they always prefer a biochemist, not any other microbiologist or biotechnologist or zoologist or botanist. Definitely in case of these clinical biochemistry, each and every industry definitely prefer a biochemist. Why? Because in any syllabus of a biochemistry, either BSc or MSc, it designed accordingly so that the clinical biochemistry get a major importance. Along with that, the knowledge of chemistry helps to build up all these importance together. That is why the in case of clinical biochemistry, these biochemists are always preferred.
Great. So, that brings to you the domain of biochemistry subdivided into several niche areas to begin with. And the School of Biochemistry, the School of Life Science and Biotechnology has this department of biochemistry which offers a BSc and an MSc degree, if I am not wrong, and also perhaps PhDs as well.
Yes.
So, if you could also explain the content of the BSc, 3 years BSc, the content of MSc, how different and evolved it is from BSc, and what sort of PhD work are being done at the school, at the department.
Oh, sure. So, while we are talking about the bachelor's level course, this course is based on the credit based choice system or known CBCS system. This is the most advanced system currently prescribed by UGC, and we are not confounded our course within that known this CBCS syllabus, but we have some other added elective options along with that, so that students can choose from all these options. But when we are entering into the course, this course is we have prepared in such a way that it should be a perfect blend of life science and chemistry. When we are talking about this life science and chemistry, whenever the first topic of these biochemistry syllabus at the UG level or the undergraduate level is the molecules of life, means the basic foundation of a life, DNA, RNA, proteins, all these things, carbohydrate, fat. So, these we are nothing but all a combination of all these things, and these are the biomolecules. So, how they react, how they function, how they interact with others, how they can be modified, all they have to learn in the very first beginning of the UG course. Then they have entered into the protein, then enzyme, then other enzymes they have to cell biology, immunology, and step by step they have to go through the entire 6 semesters to complete this entire biochemistry syllabus. Each of these syllabus is each of these subject always attached with a effective practical sessions. Whatever they are going to learn through the knowledge, they have to apply their knowledge into the practical. We have personally taken care of each of these students, so that they can each of them can go through these practicals personally, and they can be we can prepare in a skilled workers who can be directly work after their even after their bachelor degree, can work into the industry level. If I come in the difference between the BSc and MSc is that in terms of BSc, we are going to more focused on the knowledge, because we believe BSc, that these 3 years is the major time to build up their knowledge, and when they are moved into the masters, they have to polish that knowledge through their applied science. So, how they are going to enter into the applied area? We are giving them much more projects, much more we are pushing them to read journals, so that they can understand whatever is going on in the real world at the current scenario. So, whatever knowledge they have gathered during their BSc, now they are going to apply all this knowledge during their MSc. So, unfortunately, we did not have any PhD student till now in the Department of Biochemistry, but these 2 process actually we are preparing them how they are entered into the knowledge in domain of biochemistry.
Great. What is the faculty size, faculty member size? How many of them are PhD? What sort of infrastructure do you have for lab facilities and research work at the department?
At the Department of Biochemistry, we are 4 faculties are there. However, all these department we are collaborate together, means at the School of Life Science, not only these 4, we are 20 people together. We are going to take care of entire subject in all these 3: biotechnology, microbiology and biochemistry. So, when a student entered into the field of this biochemistry, he or she can get attention and the knowledge from this entire 20 people group. So, that is a huge advantage of any student who can come into the Adamas University. It is a very rare opportunity to catered by 20 different faculties from different expertise. So, along with that, all our faculties are doctorate, and they have done their postdoctorate experience from abroad and India. In case of abroad, I can mention Weizmann Institute in Israel, Van Andel Institute, Michigan, Institute of Technology in Munich, and more others. Some of them are already mentored, and some of them are already passes through the research experience in the industry level. I have myself worked in industry for a few times. So, this is a perfect blend of biology and chemistry, not only a perfect blend of industry and academia. That is why when a student come to us, he can or she can have the exposure of academia and industry both in front of him, and then he or she can choose where she want or he want to step in his next future.
Great. What specialization areas you have in your MSc course? How many MSc courses, one or multiple? What specialization areas?
In case of MSc, we have only in MSc Biochemistry, we have some elective subjects which the students can be taken as the specialization area. They are included clinical biochemistry, stem cell biology, spectrophotometry. All these areas are highly advanced, and they are need to be proper. When they are going through all these processes, they can be prepared for a market ready condition. Sorry, one I forgot to mention, there is cancer biology is also there, which is a major area for any biochemist. So, all these we have prepared, keeping in that mind that a student when came out from MSc, now his professional career starts. So, whenever he is end up from MSc, either he enters into academics or entered into the industry, he need to be market ready. So, that is the first criteria what we following here, and we always should follow that.
We have a lot of lady students also in the field of biochemistry. What sort of gender ratio would you be having at this point of time?
It's currently a gender ratio, it's nearly 40-60.
Okay, that's good.
It's a very good gender ratio. It's maybe 60% students are boys and 60% students are girls.
40%
it's around 40% students are girls. So, it's a very good gender ratio, and it's not that these boys are doing good or girls are doing good. It's a complete blend of things.
So, what sort of infrastructure you have spoken about the faculty members?
Yes.
What sort of infrastructure you have? If you could name some of the
Instruments.
specific advanced instruments that
Sure.
you have, how does it compare with your infrastructure compare with biochemistry teaching learning in similar institutions in Eastern Northeast India? If you could
Sure.
speak on that.
So, in our school, our department have some specific high-end cutting-edge technology instruments. For an example, we have a PCR machine, PCR or polymerization chain reaction, which we use to amplify the genes, and this is a major technique for what I speak before, recombinant DNA technology. Other than that, we have a very good spectrophotometry. Spectrophotometric technique is a very important tools which used in each and every step of biochemistry. So, other than we have a -80 freezer where we have to keep all these our important chemicals and biochemical things at very low level, ultra low level temperature at -80. For our regular use -20, and other freezers are obviously are going to support our work. Sorry. So, other than that, we have colorimeter, we have a culture hood where we can culture bacterial cultures. We have incubators, so that we can incubate all these bacterial cultures and use in their recombinant DNA technology. We are also in the way to planning to getting some cell culture labs, mammalian cell culture labs, so that we can manually doing that. So, all these are cutting edge technologies, or most of them are with us. So, those through which we can give a proper training to our students, and they can be benefited and prepared for their next future.
Great. Along with the academic learning, a biochemist would need some additional skills
Yeah.
to be successful in the industry, or as an entrepreneur, or as working in the development sector, wherever. So, what are the additional skills that the school and the university are adding to the skill set of the learners?
So, there are some major skills whatever a biochemist or a biologist need, that is how he is going to present himself in front of other industry or something like that. For all these reasons, we are regularly organizing seminars and workshops, so that all these students can be prepared and learned from these seminars and workshops, so that they can gain all this knowledge and they can apply all this knowledge when they are going to getting for a job. These sometimes we forcing all these students to giving a presentation by themselves. This is a part of our regular class teaching also. So, they have to present there in front of class or in front of entire school, so that their presentation skill, their understanding skill, everything can be understood by us and discussed with these students, so that we can remove whatever the problems they have, whatever their difficulties, and finally, when he or she is moving out from here, he will be a proper at ready condition.
Great. So, a complete professional is the goal.
Yes.
Academically sound, practically well exposed, professionally skilled, and with a career planning clear in the mind.
Of
And
course.
that's the combination that Adamas University is bringing forth in its talent pool.
Yes.
Well, which are the types of jobs and the types of categories of companies, organizations, government and non-government and corporate, that youngsters aim for or are getting placed in after passing out from BSc or MSc Biochemistry?
Sure. So, before entering into this job market, let me divide this entire job market into two steps. One, when people are going out from bachelor degree, and when people are going out from master's degree. Of course, the job market BSc and MSc overlap up to some point, but the post category it differentiate into the same job market. So, after coming out for a graduate biochemist, he can get a job at different clinical laboratories as a lab technician or lab assistant post, as they are much less experienced with comparison to the master's degree. First, they have entered into that post because the knowledge they have, they can be easily absorbed, and the market of these clinical laboratories are ever growing, and now after this post COVID era, now it is really boosting. If shifted from this clinical and within these clinical laboratories, there are several other segments, not just clinical laboratory means a small one. There are hematology department, there are pathology department, there are genetics department, all these there are sample testing department, all these specific area need specific skills. So, when a student entered into that area based on his or her own interest, he can choose or he can enter into a specific domain, and based on his knowledge and skills, industry people also hired him. Along with this in clinical diagnostic, student can work, these BSc people can work as a scientific writer. This is a very new coming up post or coming up field for any biochemist, because what a scientific writer means actually, these with the increase of research every day, the need of publication and spread the scientific discovery is increased hugely. So, as this is increased, the need of the writing, proper writing skill is also increased. So, when this need of this writing skill increased, so these students who can understand whatever the reactions going on, whatever happened in that specific reaction, how scientists interpret that result is also increasing with that. So, whenever student as to a person who can understand all these things and giving a write up against all these information, these persons is called as a scientific writer. As this industry is highly booming, so the need of these kinds of writer is also increasing very quickly. Along with that, these after BSc, these students obviously go for some teaching jobs in the schools or something like that. All these government options are also open for them. Other than that, if I entered into the after the MSc, what the opportunities for the student lies, the first and foremost and the lucrative job is for into the pharmaceutical industry in the research and development section. In the research and development section, there are different needs, just like I have previously mentioned, an enzymologist and cell biologist. All these areas are primarily open for them. They can join there as a research associate or a research scientist in the post name. So, these posts are already open for there, and these are comparatively high salary jobs we compare to the previous one I have mentioned. Then in the clinical diagnostics, if I come to the people who entered into clinical diagnostic after BSc, they joined as a lab technician, but the people who can join after MSc, they joined as a research scientist. Those who are going to discover or who are going to directly join at the research and development section of those clinical diagnostics, where they are testing how the specific research test need to be done, what should be the proper SOP or the standard operating protocol for that specific test, or what should, how they can develop that technique. All these research are doing behind that. And not only after that research, after that someone need to interpret that result. So, after that, okay, this is the test, this is the data we got, now what the data says to me, and these data actually helps in the medical sector. Medical sector means these data directly linked, means when the doctors prescribe this test, the data comes from here, directly helps them to understand whatever the difficulties happened in this patient. So, those students, there are we have found that there are many students who are unable to enter into the joint medical joint, and they found that we like to enter into a medical field, and due to some reasons they are not able to enter. This is the best opportunity, biochemistry is the best second best opportunity for them, so that they can link their career directly with the medical sector. Not only these clinical diagnostic, medical diagnostic is the another way through which they can directly enter. Along with that, these medical along with these medical diagnostics, these people can be entered as a pathologist, biochemist can be entered as a pathologist, and all these sectors are majorly kept specifically entertained biochemist. Other than all these things, they can enter some common area where can other people can also step in, like the other in biotechnology sector, where they need an environmental biotechnologist or a marine biotechnologist, as these biochemists know the basics of these things. Basics means how the reactions are going on, how they can help. So, they can enter all these biotechnologies fields also, they are allowed to apply and enter. Along with that, all these along with this field, I should also mention that these biochemists also preferred in the field of nursing and all these things. And along with that, the pharmacy, as a pharmacy contains a huge amount of biotechnological knowledge, support background from different kinds of different people of biochemist is actually need there. So, pharmaceutical technology is the another industrial sector for them. However, all these are covering, I am saying about the industry, but there is a huge academic sector lies. What are those academic sectors? Of course, after PhD, after MSc, they can go for a PhD, which is a very good lucrative position for any biochemist or any biologist, so that they can pursue their career if in higher they can pursue their career in higher biology. So, after they in India, they have to qualify national eligibility test or NET or any other exam which is given by any government institute. They have to crack that and join as a junior research fellow at any in university, government or private, so that they can pursue their PhD career. Then after PhD, they can join back as a faculty into any government or private institutes. If they want to move abroad, they have to crack GRE or TOEFL. So, all these options are there.
Great. That gives a very good broad outline of types of jobs and functional areas that youngsters, graduates and postgraduates both can go.
Yes.
Can you name some companies, some organizations, even corporate, government or non-government,
Yeah, sure.
where people have been going on? How many batches have passed out? Which are the organizations they have largely walked into?
For biochemistry people, I can say that AstraZeneca, Alchem, Dr. Reddy's lab, all Sun Pharma. So, in all these kinds of pharmaceutical technological sectors, they have a huge need. If we think about three major sectors in India, one is Delhi based, another one is Hyderabad and Pune based, and another one is Bangalore based. All these area contains lots of biotechnological, biochemical industries which are newly built up in last 10 years or something like that. So, all of them want need these fresh biochemists. Other than that, there are several institutes, government institute like Indian Institute of Science, National Institute of Immunology, Indian Institute of Technology, ISAR Kolkata, ISAR Pune. So, all these institutes are always took up these biochemists, and our students already work there as a project, and maybe in future they are going to work as a junior research fellow or scientists.
Great. So, that is for you the world of biochemistry, the world that blends life science and chemistry.
Yes.
And the world that enters into several niche areas.
Exactly.
Interestingly, we had detailed discussions by Professor Dr. Srijan Haldar on enzymology, cell biology, which includes stem cell biology as well, immunology, DNA technology, particularly recombinant DNA technology, clinical diagnostics, where biochemists are needed in a big number, spectrophotometry, yes, that is another area, cancer biology, hematology, various areas or niche areas or specialization areas of biochemistry we have discussed. We have also discussed about how BSc is multidisciplinary based on choice based credit system. draws upon various areas of life sciences and biochemistry, and how MSc actually is more specialized, is more elective based. And particularly in MSc in the Adamas University's School of Life Sciences and Biotechnology, the focus is largely on clinical diagnostics, spectrophotometry, cancer biology, and these areas. He has also talked about how cutting edge technology and advanced incubators have been brought forth to support and sustain and evolve the education that is being given, that is being delivered at the school. He has also talked about the various job opportunities that youngsters may have, whether it's BSc going to clinical lab technicians, clinical diagnostics, or scientific writer, becoming scientific writers, or those who are postgraduates getting into pharma industry R&D, which is placed higher, whether it's entomologist, whether it's cell biologist, research scientist, or in academics. And various corporate organizations, whether it's Sun Pharma or Dr. Reddy's and many more, and organizations like National Institute of Nutrition or Indian Institute of Science and many others have evolved, particularly in this century, that's the last 20 years, to evolve, to give exposure and job opportunities and engagements constructively, productively to graduates and postgraduates of biochemistry. It's a new area, a new domain, a rising domain, particularly in the post-COVID times, in these pandemic times, and in times when the world in general is becoming more conscious about public health factors. It's important to be noticed that India is becoming the global capital of drug or vaccine manufacturing, and here biochemists will have a major role to play, because a lot of R&D is happening in the pharma companies where biochemists are required, and as has been very rightly said, in clinical diagnostics where biochemists are required, and clinical diagnostics gets a boost in times of pandemic or health hazards, as you can see today. So young ladies and gentlemen up there, it's important to note you have a great option in biochemistry and a great infrastructure in Adamas School of Life Science and Biotechnology, and a faculty, 20-member faculty of the school with 4 particularly in biochemistry focused to serve your needs, to mentor you, and to bring to you the skills required for this rising industry of applications of biochemistry. With this, we bring this session, our interaction with Dr. Srijan Haldar, Head of the Department of Biochemistry, School of Life Science and Biotechnology, Adamas University, Kolkata, to an end. And next day, we will meet you with another domain, another expert, and another school of thought. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And namaskar. Thank you, Professor Haldar.
In front of Adamas University. That was the day when I realized how much affection my dad had for me. Moreover, the trust and expectations which he conveyed through a glimpse of his eyes without uttering a single word were so touching. And to my mind, this was the time to start a new life. It was a new day, a new place, new surroundings, which would be leading me to a new journey. Excitement and nervousness were at their peak, as I was going to start everything on my own. was a little nervous, thinking how this surrounding would accept me. But to my surprise, a tinge of happiness ran within me when strangers became friends. The bond grew stronger with each passing day, and very soon, my campus became my second home. Life is always surrounded with lots of queries, and so is your classroom, where you get them answered, and that's how you get an insight into your own self and the subject you study. I was so lucky to be learning everything hands-on, practically in several labs, in workshops, in multiple studios, and through indoor and outdoor activities. Beyond studies, there is another avenue which connects me to my soul, and that is sports. I firmly believe that talent wins a game, but teamwork and intelligence create champions. Always make an effort, even when odds are against you, because I believe that a dream doesn't become a reality through magic. It takes a lot of trust, determination, and hard work to create magic. As you approach the end of your journey on the campus, examination will test your memory and application, whereas life will test your actual learning. And finally, you see all your hard work creating a new reality. The results you achieve will be in direct proportion to the efforts you put in. I want to thank you with all my heart for all the faith, hope, and belief you had in me, for all the strength you gave me to face challenges with confidence, along with the wisdom to choose my battles carefully. Today on this day, all my efforts and results are for you. You have been the pillar of my dreams and will always be. And to my alma mater, Adamas University, I can never thank you enough for making me a man out of a boy and a professional out of a student. I will remain a lifelong learner.
I'm proud to be part of Adamas University.
Pursue excellence. Adamas University.